I lost 65 pounds, and I need to say this carefully. In some ways, the before was the easy part. Not because living in my larger body was easy, but losing the weight was exciting. I had something clear to work toward. The scale was moving, my clothes were changing. People noticed. Every few pounds felt like evidence that I was getting somewhere. Maintenance is different. Maintenance is working to protect something that you have already earned. And nobody warned me what that would actually require. Nobody warned me that food would feel like something I had to grieve, that reaching my goal weight wouldn't mean that I was finished working on my body, that the applause would stop long before the work did, that my body would change faster than my mind learned how to see it, or that maintaining weight loss would look less like a straight line and more like repeating the same cycle over and over again. These are the 5 things nobody warned me about after losing 65 pounds, and none of them is about calories or workouts. If you're new here, I'm Sarah Heilman. I'm a personal trainer and nutrition and health coach. I lost 65 pounds before becoming a coach, and now I help people build healthier habits through sustainable weight loss, strength training, mindful eating, and a better relationship with food. I also work with people using GLP-1 medications and want to make sure they aren't just losing weight, but learning how to nourish their body, protect their muscle, and build habits they can realistically maintain. And right now, I am rebuilding my body 2 years after pregnancy and sharing the honest version of that process, the progress, the setbacks, the hunger, the late night snacking, and everything that doesn't fit neatly into a before and after picture. So if you're tired of extreme diets and want realistic conversations around weight loss, GLP-1 support, postpartum fitness and beyond, nutrition, and long-term maintenance, subscribe to Strong.Bold.Healthy. Now, let's start with the part I was least prepared for. Before I lost the weight, food had a job. Actually, it had about 6 jobs. Food was celebration. Food was comfort. It was entertainment when I was bored. It was my reward after a difficult day. It gave me something to look forward to. And at night, when everything became quiet, food gave me something to do. You know that moment when you open the pantry, stare inside, close it, and then 10 minutes later, open it again as if something new has appeared? That was me. And the difficult part was that I didn't always recognize what I was looking for. Sometimes I was physically hungry because I had spent the day drinking caffeine, skipping meals. Sometimes I was exhausted. Sometimes I was lonely, stressed, overwhelmed, or simply uncomfortable sitting still with myself. But food was the answer I knew. So when I began losing weight, I wasn't just changing what I ate. I was taking away one of my main coping mechanisms without having something else to replace it. And that felt like grief. I think people hear the phrase healthy relationship with food and imagine that one day you just simply stop caring about food. That hasn't been my experience. I still love food. I still use food to celebrate. I still enjoy meals with my family. The difference is that I no longer need food to perform every emotional job in my life. And part of changing that relationship was realizing that not every desire to eat meant the same thing. Sometimes I needed protein. Sometimes I needed a full meal instead of another cup of coffee. Sometimes I needed sleep. Sometimes I needed comfort. But food was not the only way I could give myself comfort. When I began eating enough protein, adding more fiber, and not running on empty until the middle of the afternoon, my hunger became much easier to understand. Not perfect, not silent, just easier to understand. And this matters for people using GLP-1 medications too. Medication can change how intense hunger or food noise feels. That can create valuable breathing room. But that breathing room is also an opportunity to become curious. What meals help you feel nourished? What situations trigger emotional eating? What happens when you're tired, stressed, lonely, or around certain people? Medication can support the physical side of weight loss, but understanding what food has represented in your life is still part of building something sustainable. Changing what food did for me was only the beginning. The next surprise was realizing that maintenance itself looked nothing like I expected. I used to believe that successful weight loss maintenance meant reaching one number and staying there forever. That has not been my reality. I have a cycle. I gain and lose roughly the same 10 pounds over the course of almost every year. Late spring through the beginning of winter, I tend to feel like my healthiest self. I move more, I spend more time outside, my nutrition feels more structured. The habits that support my goals happen more naturally. Then the holidays begin. My birthday's in January, it's cold, I move less outside or in general. There are more celebrations, more comfort foods, and more time around family and friends. My routine loosens and my body changes. By the time spring returns, I usually feel ready to become more intentional again. For years, I thought this cycle meant I was doing something wrong. I thought I was repeatedly gaining the weight back and having to start over. Now, I recognize I have a range. This is my personal pattern, and it may not be anyone else's pattern, and it doesn't mean that I completely ignore changes in my habits or health. But I no longer treat every fluctuation like an emergency. I no longer expect my January body to look like my September body, because those versions of me are living under different conditions. My movement is different, my schedule is different, my social life is different. Even the foods I naturally want are different. Maintenance does not mean keeping your body frozen at its leanest weight during its easiest season. It means recognizing your patterns before a drift becomes a spiral. I still occasionally overeat, not binge, overeat. And I still sometimes drink more than I planned when I'm around old friends. Certain environments can pull familiar behaviors out of me before I even realize it. But I no longer turn one meal, one weekend, one vacation, or one difficult month into proof that I've lost control. I notice what is happening, I refocus on the basics, and I continue. That is maintenance. Not never changing, not never drifting, but no longer abandoning yourself every time you do. Nobody claps for year 14. When you begin losing weight, people notice. They ask what you're doing, they compliment you. They want to know your secret. Your clothing changes, the number on the scale changes, your before and after pictures change. There is constant proof that something is happening. And then eventually, the visual transformation slows down. The compliments stop, the questions stop. Everyone assumes the story is over, but the habits don't stop. Nobody sees you stop eating because you're satisfied, even when there's food still on the plate. Nobody notices when you choose a meal that will help you feel better instead of a meal that will give you the quickest dopamine hit. Nobody claps when you go to bed rather than opening the pantry at 10 p.m. Nobody celebrates when you have a difficult week and don't use it as permission to completely abandon yourself. My dad recently celebrated a birthday and there was cheesecake. I took a bite, I didn't love it, so I left the rest. That's it, that's the whole story. But that small, boring moment represents years of practice. There was a time when I would have eaten the cheesecake just because it was there, because it was a celebration, because everyone else was eating it, because leaving food behind felt wasteful, because I might as well enjoy it now and start over tomorrow. Now I can participate in a celebration without turning one food into something bigger than it needs to be. And nobody saw that moment as an accomplishment. Why would they? Maintenance is boring from the outside. There's no dramatic reveal, no transformation montage, no finish line picture. And if you depend on external validation to keep going, maintenance can feel incredibly lonely. At some point, you have to become the person who notices. You have to recognize that choosing differently during a stressful week matters. You have to celebrate the workout you completed even though it wasn't your best. You have to acknowledge that returning after a difficult month is progress too. The applause may stop, the habits don't. And if making those everyday choices feels harder because you genuinely don't know what to eat, or you're tired of trying to piece together meals that contain enough protein or fiber, I created a 7-day meal plan to help. It includes a full week of recipes, a grocery list, and a meal calendar to take some of that decision making out of your week. You can download it using the link in the description or the pinned comment below. But even after you learn to recognize your own progress, there's another challenge. I had a client who lost a significant amount of weight, more than 75 pounds, His body changed, his clothing size changed. He was moving through his life differently. But his wife refused to get rid of his larger clothes. When I asked her why, she replied, "He'll gain it back." Think about what that communicates. Not just, let's keep these clothes in case you need them. It says, I don't trust this version of you to last. And this is a part of change that people don't talk about enough. Some people become attached to a version of you without even realizing it. Maybe they knew you in a larger body. Maybe you were the friend who always wanted to order another round, split dessert, or skip the workout. When your habits change, it can change the rhythm of that relationship. But it also happens in the opposite direction. Maybe people have come to know you as the fit one, the disciplined one, the one who always exercises, the one who always has healthy food prepared, the one who lost all of that weight and supposedly figured everything out. Then life changes. The time, energy, support, and resources that helped you maintain one version of your health may no longer be available in the same way. And some people may look at your changing body and habits and assume that you've stopped caring. Someone may still care deeply about their health while still struggling to show it in the same visible ways. A postpartum mother may not be able to train the way she did before pregnancy. A person experiencing grief may rely more heavily on convenient foods. A caregiver may not have the same time, money, or emotional capacity they once had. That doesn't erase everything they've learned. It doesn't make them lazy. It doesn't mean that their healthiest self has disappeared. Their life has changed. Your body is not a contract with other people. You are not obligated to stay frozen in a version of yourself that makes someone else most comfortable. And other people may need time to adjust when your boundaries, your body, your confidence, and your priorities change. That is their work, not yours. But sometimes the person who is most attached to the old version of you is you. I think many people believe that losing weight will automatically make them feel confident. That once the body changes, insecurity will disappear. That the number on the scale will give them permission to finally feel comfortable, attractive, or worthy. But weight loss cannot reach inside you and remove every belief you've developed about yourself. I had a client who lost more than 25 pounds and was still calling herself fat, still criticizing herself in the mirror, still speaking to herself with that same harsh voice she had used at her starting weight. Growing up, she learned that being thin meant you were disciplined and valuable, while being larger meant that you were lazy and a slob. Her body changed. That belief system didn't. I've talked before about the phrase, I feel fat. Fat is not actually an emotion, but we've learned to use it as one. I feel fat can mean I feel uncomfortable, I feel insecure, I feel out of control, I feel exposed, I don't feel like myself today. Losing weight does not automatically teach you how to name those feelings and then respond to yourself with compassion. I'm navigating several layers of body identity. I lost 65 pounds, I healed from disordered eating, then I experienced pregnancy and postpartum changes. Those are 3 different versions of my body and 3 different sets of expectations. A few weeks ago, I found a pair of size small leggings that had been sitting in my drawer since before my daughter was born. My daughter is now more than 2 years old. I did not put them on because I was creating a dramatic goal pants moment. I put them on because my other workout clothes were dirty. They fit, and I wore them out of the house. That may not sound significant, but a year earlier, I probably wouldn't have done that. My body had changed before my willingness to be seen in it had changed. I noticed the same pattern when I looked at my DEXA scan. The scan showed nearly 100 pounds of lean mass. It showed balanced muscles and strong bone density. It showed evidence of everything my body had done well. And what did my brain immediately focus on? The body fat percentage, 39.6%. One number. My brain took an entire report and highlighted the one piece of information it could use against me. This is called negative filtering, and it taught me something important. I could change my body composition and still evaluate myself through the same old lens. The deeper work was learning to see the full picture: strength, muscle, bone health, recovery, motherhood, consistency, progress that wasn't always visible in a mirror. For people experiencing significant or rapid weight loss, including those using GLP-1 medications, the person in the mirror may feel unfamiliar. Give yourself time to meet that person. Try on clothes, take the pictures, practice receiving compliments without immediately arguing with them. Notice when your mind is using old language to describe a body and a life that have changed. Your body may lose the weight before your mind releases the story you attach to it. That doesn't mean the transformation failed. It means there's another part of the transformation asking for your attention. Losing 65 pounds changed my body. Keeping it off required me to change my relationship with food, progress, other people, and myself. Whether you're losing weight naturally, using a GLP-1, rebuilding after pregnancy, maintaining a major weight loss, or simply trying to create a healthier lifestyle without hating yourself in the process, you are not failing because your journey has imperfect seasons. Sustainable weight loss is not built on never struggling. It's built by developing enough awareness, support, and self-trust that struggle no longer automatically becomes surrender. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these 5 truths hit closest to home? Put the number in the comments and tell me what it has looked like in your life. I read every comment, and your stories often help shape the conversations we have here. And next time, I am taking you inside my 60-day check-in for the 90-day body rebuild. And I'm going to be honest, these last 30 days have been challenging. I'm not cleaning it up for the camera. You are going to see the real check-in. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. Until then, stay strong, bold, and healthy. I'll see you next time.